Hi everyone, Amazing here. Welcome to my free Excel dashboard tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to create this beautiful and highly dynamic interactive Excel dashboard from the scratch. And this dashboard have a very nice looking color, and it's not just color but it's all about the interactivity we have on this dashboard. And a new feature I'm going to show you how to create, that is the search bar right here. And before we go into the detail, the dashboard is all about HR analytics dashboard. So right now what I'm going to do now is this. Now we have the search bar, and it actually powers the information we have at the sidebar right here. So if I have it deleted, which means I have it cleared, nothing is not right on this one again, you're going to see what happens. So there is no more information displayed because we have nothing searched. So what if we want to search for a particular employee in our database? So all I'm just going to do right now is just to type the name of the employee, Ismail Yusha. So right now, if I hit enter, you have the name of Ismail Yusha displayed, and the gender and everything that has to do with the employee information we have inside our database. And the question is this: what if we have a name searched and the name is not actually in our database? What's going to happen? Let me search for your name, and you know your name is not anybody's name in the organization. Look at what we've just gotten. We have employee not found, retry. That is because this employee is not actually in the organization, and there is nobody with your name in the organization. We have nothing displayed, so we missed. I would need to actually type in the right name to have the right information or details displayed. Now the dashboard is highly protected, that we cannot actually move any of the cards right here, and nobody can mess with this particular dashboard as it is right now, except you have the code given to the person. I believe you know what HR analytics is all about, so let me just run you through what is HR analytics and why we really want to have it, or why we should have it. So with HR analytics, you can know the level of attrition, how many persons are leaving your organization, and how many persons left in 2020, 2019, 2014, whatsoever. And you want to see the reason why those people are actually leaving. And we have very huge data for HR analytics. Without we actually categorizing those data, we can't know who is who in which department, who is a male, who is a female, a Christian, a Muslim, who is from Nigeria, who is from the United States, and who is from London or from any other country whatsoever. With HR analytics, we can actually break it down in a smaller set just like this and know where they belong individually. That is why we have HR data, and we want to know how much each department actually get paid every single time they receive their salary. So by breaking down this particular data we have right here, we can actually know them by the religion, who are the Muslims, the Christians, and the Hindus. We want to actually get to know that. That is why we want to actually analyze this today's data, to just make sure we take you into the detail of HR data by breaking a very huge data into a smaller part of it. Now, before we go ahead and create, you can see right here, if I go to my slicer right here, what's going to happen? I want to go to nationality, and if I jump on nationality, I want to just go to Nigeria. Where is my country? That is my country, Nigeria. I'm very honored to be from here because I love to be a Nigerian. So if I click on it, this is what is going to happen. It's going to tell me now, the dashboard is going to tell me that we have 6 employees in this organization that are from Nigeria. So right now we have 3 male and 3 female, and we want to see their fate is 50-50, 3 Christians and 3 Muslims, and we don't have any person that is actually Hindu right here in our country, Nigeria, and all of that. So you can see the breakdown of this. So if I actually go ahead and have it cleared and actually have it closed and go by location right now, you're going to see if I click on Dubai, what's going to happen. We're going to see a different analytics entirely, because we have much more employees from Dubai. We have 42. Now 40 are male, 2 are just female, and we have 39 to be active and 3 to be inactive. That is what I'm talking about, the attrition, people leaving our organization. And in Dubai, we have 13 locations where those people are from, and we have 16 to be single, 26 to be married, and we have 0 to be divorced. And we can see based on designation, call center, age group, and the age group we have much more employee from is the age group between 41 to 50. That is what made it up of 47.62%. That is beautiful. I want to see the religious level. I think it's more of a religious country where we have more Muslims, and we can see we have more Muslims right here than the Christian and the Hindus. So right now that is beautiful. I'm just want to take you down to where we can actually have this created. This is actually the data that powered dashboard we're actually seeing. So we're gonna actually analyze this from the scratch. And the first thing we have to do right now is to hit down to the right workbook. And here's the right workbook. We always have this. Now we have the analytics. We have nothing right here yet. We have the data. This is the data we're gonna use. Have the color palette. Those are the colors we're going to be using for this particular analysis right here. So from the scratch, so the first we're going to do is for you to actually have your dashboard formatted rightly. So all I love to do is to actually create my dashboard in a full screen in order to have the whole information or plenty information displayed. Now I just have a full screen right now. The next thing I'm going to do again is just for me to actually go and save my work based on how I feel like saving it. I don't want to save it like a regular Excel workbook whatsoever, because I have already saved this. I'm just going to save as to show you how you have to save your work. So click on HR dashboard. It's a different name. You can say HR dashboard YouTube tutorial or YouTube lesson. So YouTube lesson. So the default is gonna be Excel workbook. This is the default, but when we don't want to save it right on Excel workbook, instead I want to use Excel macro enable workbook, and you click on save. Because I have it saved before, I'm gonna cancel, and we're gonna go back right here. Okay, the first we're going to take care of now is actually the color. The body and the whole body is going to take this color. All I need to do is just to copy this from here. I'm just going to go on copy, and I'm going to go back to the dashboard. I'm going to actually have it right on the pad of the dashboard. That is beautiful. This is the first step we have to take. We are about to take the action you are thinking of. Where are we going to create this? Now, here we are. If this is your first time, all you have to do right now is just to hit the subscribe button. And if you're a returning subscriber, I want to say thank you very much for believing in me. And we're going to have to do a very nice work right now. So now this is the header. This is the header. I'm going to click back on this. And here is the header. I'm going to give the header just 2 cells. And I'm good to go. Now you can see the header color is different than this particular body color. And for the sidebar right now, I'm going to go for the sidebar. I'm going to take this color right here. I'm going to actually have to take this color. So here is the sidebar. I'm going to go here and actually have my sidebar this way. Nicely done, right? So you can see we are almost transforming this particular dashboard into the next level dashboard. I think this is too huge. We don't know the actual size. We want to actually use the actual size, and we don't want to waste time right here. We can actually go to the previous one to copy from. And before we do that, what we're going to do right now is just for we to actually make sure we have, because the dashboard is actually protected. If we go to the dashboard right now, we can't click anywhere except where we actually give, where we actually say, okay, now we want to search, we want to actually place filter, but all those ones cannot be moved. But we want to copy something from here. I'm going to show you what we're going to use to actually get that done. So here's the password. I'm going to copy the password. So if you have the dashboard with you, just get a dashboard, the password to actually type in here. I'm just going to go to review. And under review, I'm going to go on protect sheet and have it. I'm going to place it right here. And now I can have access to my dashboard the way I want it. Now you can see I can click right here. I can move anything. I can mess around with it. So I'm just going to pick this particular part here from here down to the top level. Down to the top level right here. I'm going to pick it up. So I'm just going to click on copy. So if I click on copy, what I'm going to do right now is just to hit back to my main dashboard and actually click right here, and actually Control V will help me to paste this. So now I have no actual size, and I'm just going to actually get this one deleted from here, and that is exactly what it is. So the next thing we're going to do right now is to get the cards we have right here, right up on it. So I'm just going to go to insert. Here's my insert. I'm going to go for the cards. I'm going to go for this. And I'm going to actually have to drag it down right here. That is beautiful. We have this. And now I want to go to color. And we want to see the card one is actually 20, 20, 32. So we'll go back again. And we're just going to go ahead and hit this. And I'm going to go for field color, and the field color I'm just gonna click right here. We don't have the color existing right here. I'm just gonna go for my color and actually give this to be 20. Here is gonna be 20, and here is gonna be 32. So 32, we have the color we're looking for, and that is beautiful. We have our color already. That is what we need to do. So right here, I can actually go ahead and remove this particular outline, and we have the color right here. So we cannot leave it on a very dark color like this. So I want to make the color to be some kind of 60. So I want to make the color 60, and that is beautiful. So right now we need to have some kind of outline right here. I'm just going to go down to outline. I'm going to get its outline, and this is the outline I want to get for it. Yeah, outline. I'm going to give this to be kind of 65. So I'm going to make it 65 will be good. And here we go. We have something beautiful like this. This is what we do. All we need to do right now is to have it duplicated. That is beautiful, right? So right now I can go ahead and have this duplicated. I'm just gonna hold on my control. Once I hold on my control, I'm gonna see this particular plus sign, and I'm gonna have to drag it. And actually, before I release my control, I would have to release the mouse first. Now I have it actually duplicated like this. I can actually have to double this into do and see what I can do. And actually, I'm gonna move it this way, and I'm gonna have it sufficiently like this. I think beautifully we have something like this for the first time. I want to make sure I distributed them accordingly. I'm just gonna hold on and actually select them all. Select them all. I'm gonna go right here. I'm gonna say distribute horizontally, and now we have them equally distributed. And the next thing I'm gonna do right now is to copy this down. So in order to have it copied down, I'm just gonna hold my control and select all of them and just drag them down nicely like this. And I'm gonna make sure it's still aligned. So I'm just gonna make okay. Now I love the space I'm having. And that is exactly what it is. We've just collected our second cards. So this second card, I'm gonna make it smaller. So all I'm just gonna do again is just to actually reduce this and actually have something like this. So make it a little bit. Okay. Now I'm just gonna drag this down for the second time. Okay. Now I think I'm gonna have something nicely like this. Nicely, I'm gonna leave it, and this is what we have. And this time around, once we have this finally dragged down, there is gonna be a nice car we're gonna create again, so we can actually see how everything goes. So right now I'm gonna actually have to make sure I extend this down to this end. This is how we got this particular cat created. Just gotta push it a little bit. So now you can see the dashboard is actually taking its shape the way it should be. So now our dashboard is taking shape. The next thing we're going to do right now is to have the headers, which I'm not going to create from the scratch. I'm just going to go to the previous dashboard and copy everything I needed. I'm just going to copy the name of the channel from here. I'm going to copy this, I'm going to copy this and have this copied. And I'm going to have this particular time copied as well. I'm just going to Control C to have them copied. I'm going to take them to the other dashboard. So right here, I'm going to have them placed here. And nicely, we have something like this, beautiful. It aligns well. We are almost coming up with our dashboard. So our search is going to be actually be right here, which is something we're not going to concern ourselves much about right now. It is something we're going to keep for later. We're going to learn how to create that. So right now, it is time to bounce on the analysis. Now to start with, we're gonna want to go to a data source. So right now here, the data that we're gonna be using for this is actually very huge, not too huge though. So we want to see how we can actually create the analysis around this data. And the first thing we're gonna use is actually pivot table. And I always love to use pivot table with function, but right here I'm gonna be using match of pivot table. I'm gonna go to insert, and you know what it is. If you are new to pivot table, don't worry. I'm just gonna take you from the elementary level down to the senior level. Okay. Now we have new sheet. If I actually click on this right now, it gives me a new sheet, which is not what I really want. So I don't want this sheet. I just want to show you how that works. I'm just going to have it deleted right now. I'm going to say yes to it. So now the one I needed is actually go back to the top, go to insert and hit on pivot table. And because I have already a sheet pre-formatted for this, I'm just going to click on existing sheet. I'm going to have my cursor right in here, and I'm going to hit analysis, and here we start from. So I'm just going to say okay to it. So now we have our first pivot table inserted. Okay, what we're gonna do right now is that we want to actually see our total employees. So I'm just gonna go for this particular uh, ID right here. If I put it down, it's giving me the total employee we have. So this is actually giving us the count of employee, and that is how we have our first card right here. And I can actually go here and actually get this drag down and actually create my total employee from here. I'm gonna say total employee. So I'm just going to make it a very short form. I'm going to drag this way. Exactly, I have this. So right, the next thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to drag it down and bring in my value here. So we are almost getting to the main point. So here I have my formula bar on because I want to get a value we have on that particular aspect. So the next thing I'm going to do, go back to analysis and hit on this and actually say, okay, now we have this. So we need to crank it up by actually having a very bold figure right there. I'm just going to crank it up. I'm going to make it bolder, and it's going to be bolder than every other part or every figures we're going to have with this dashboard because it's the one that is taking the lead. So right now I'm going to actually make sure it shows very well. So I'm going to drag it to this end. So right now I want to have an icon here that shows what it is. So to get the icon right here, I'm going to go to insert, and from insert, this is the insert. From insert, I'm going to go for picture, and here we go. We have it. We have an icon right here. You can navigate to where you have icon in your system. I'm going to get it this right here. Actually, the icon is very huge. I'm just gonna make it small. So make it very smaller. That fits in right there. Okay, not too small though. I'm gonna bring it down here till I get the size I really wanted. I think I'm cool with this particular type of size, but the color is not amazing. I don't like the color. I want to turn it to white, so I'm just gonna go and format this to go to format picture. And once you hit the format picture, click on this particular picture right here and go to this picture corrections, and I'm gonna actually make the brightness to go, and it gives me white, so 100% it gives me white. That is how you actually gonna do that. So I might not do this over and over again. All I need to do is just to copy from the previous one, but I've shown you how to get it done if you want to do this, right? That is beautiful. That is the first step we have to take to get this right done. So if you look at the previous one, we have a chart here that you might not take note of. Let me just take you to that particular aspect right here. So right now we have this chart. Because we place it right here, it gives us this. And we have it analyzed based on dollar basis. Let me go look for where we have the filter on. Okay, we have the filter on right here. I'm going to clear the filter. You're going to see what is going on right here. So if I actually clear the filter back again, I'm going to show you what is going on right here. So right here, if I place my cursor right here, it's telling me that January 1st, we have 10 employees. And once we go to January, 11th of January, we have one employee again that came into our organization. And I want to actually have something beautiful like this on our dashboard. So how do we go about this? So we're going to go to the right workbook right now. And here we go. So we don't have to recreate a pivot table over and over again. All we have to do is to copy the previous one we have used and actually take it to another cell. I'm just going to have to drop this right here. I'm going to say paste. So once you have it pasted, you have just gotten it duplicated. So what you're going to do right now, I'm just going to select this away from here. Okay, I still have it, and I'm going to have it where we're going to have count. So I'm going to have the count of the IDs, because every single ID appeared once for every individual. An employee would have its ID, the other one will not, any other employee will not have the same ID again. So I'm going to have to see where we have the higher date. The higher date is this. I'm going to drag it down right here. So because I'm using Excel 2016, so it has it grouped for me, and right now I don't want it to be grouped. So all I need to do is just to ungroup this and actually group it to the way I really want it. I'm just going to make sure I select the cell, right click on it, and actually go to ungroup. And what you're going to do, you have it ungrouped right here. And the next thing I'm going to do again, I'm going to regroup this because I will need it in a different type of groups. Yeah, actually. So for now, I'm going to have it grouped by what? By days, by quarter, and by year. That is exactly the groups I want. So I'm going to actually hit OK. And right now, what do I need? I just need a higher date. I need the date, not the month. But I'm going to actually take this off, move it away, move this away, and move the year away. So I have the days already. So right now, the groups will form this actually this year, quarter, and month plus the days. So right now, this is what it is. So I'm just going to create my chart from here. It's very simple. You can actually create a chart from here. And here we go. We have this very huge chart. I'm gonna have this closed right now. If I click on this chart, it's very huge. I'm just gonna have it minimized a little bit and actually format it and take it to my dashboard. So for this one, I'm gonna have the tide hidden. I'm gonna take this off as well. I'm gonna take this date off, and I don't need this particular axis right here. So I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller. I'm gonna cut it off and actually take it to my dashboard and make it to sit right on the dashboard. So this is what it is. Before I actually go ahead and fit it right there, I'm going to double click on it, and I have this, and I'm going to take off the colors. Now I don't want the colors, neither if I want the grid lines. I'm going to take the grid lines off, and I'm going to make it smaller. I'm going to make sure it sits right here for me. So we have to make sure we extend it to cover up. Shift a little bit. So now we have something like this nicely. So what we need to do right now is just to make sure we click on this particular aspect right here and change the color to something like this. And now it is rhyming with the kind of color we have. We want something different. I can actually go on more colors right here. Once I have hit on more color, I can actually make sure I take the get me something like this. So I hit OK, and now we can see it stand out separately from the background we have it on. This is how we just got this created. When we actually place filter, this is going to change, because if right now we hover over it, it gives us, on 4th February we have 11 employees that joined our organization. So the next part is to go back to analysis again, and I'm just going to copy this one. As I've told you, we're not going to create this over and over again. Just to copy and paste, we'll get another new pivot table. That's exactly what it is. So what we need to do right now, I'm just going to scroll this in. So we need to actually analyze the male and female. how many males we have and how many female do we have in our organization. That is what we want to do right now because this particular field is not on. So I'm just going to turn the field list on, and here we go, we have it. So we're still going to leave this right here. What I'm going to do right now is just to locate where we have the gender. So I'm just going to go for where we have the gender and drag the gender down right here. So we have the gender right here and we have the count of the male and the female right here. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is just for me to go to where I actually have the same ID again. I'm going to drag the ID down, and this ID is doing something different again. Let me tell you what the ID does. I want to actually turn this one into a percentage right now. And once I do that, I'm just going to go on the column. Yeah, just right click, go to what show value as now percentage of column total, and here we have it. That is beautiful, but we don't really need this particular grand total right here. So to move it off is just for we to actually go back here and hit on design, and here we go. We're going to turn it off by saying off, and it goes off. And for this row label right here, this is not what we want to see. We can actually take care of that by actually having it clicked and go back to the top level right here and hit on design and hit on your what on your report layout and go to show in tabular form, and we have gender shown right here. That is beautiful. So now we are showing the count of it, and here is what we have. We want to actually distribute this to a dashboard. How do we do this? We have to go to the dashboard for the first time. Here we go. We have the dashboard clicked on. I told you we have to make things snappy right here. So I don't need to actually start to do this thing from the scratch because there are the things you can do. I'm just going to go to my previous one. I'm going to have to copy this right here, copy this, and have this copied and this copied as well. So I'm just going to Control C, will have it copied for me. And if I go back to my dashboard, I can actually have this pasted right here and actually align it very well to the place I really want to have it. I think I'm cool with this right now. I'm just going to release my mouse and actually make sure I have this double right here. I'm going to double this. I'm going to have it doubled again. This is beautiful. You want to see why I'm having it doubling. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is just that how many males do we have in our organization? I can actually go right here and put out my equal to, and for the male we're going to have the male to be 115 right here. For the female, oh so yeah, for the female I'm going to actually click on this and do the same thing to this as well. Okay, right now we've gotten it all right here. So when I format this, I'm just going to go right here and actually go formatting this, and I'm going to give this to be some kind of 16, and I'm going to actually change the color to something like this. I think I love this color for it, and I'm going to turn this one to something different. I'm going to make sure we have this on bold, and I'm going to have it on 10. Yeah, I think I'm going to have, yeah, give it this color, same color. I'm going to have it on 12. We have that is the percentage. Okay, I'm gonna still have it on. I'm gonna have it on 10. That's the percentage. So for now, for me to show the percentage, I'm just gonna actually make sure I actually expand it a little bit. And what I need to do right now, I don't have to reinvent the wheel again. Just make sure you copy the formatting for this, and you click on this as well, and you copy the same formatting you have for this one for this aspect right here. Stand out. We've just gotten this analysis done right here, and we're perfect doing this. The next thing we're gonna actually have to address what we have right here. Now you have to make sure that you keep your analysis page very clean, just like what we have right here in the previous one. As you can see, we have it well explained so that whoever is looking at the back end of this particular dashboard will know what is going on right here, and as well how it transits to what we have on our dashboard. That is why I always love to keep this particular place very clean and not to be rough. So make sure you keep it clean. But because of this particular tutorial, we are trying to speed things up. We cannot go ahead and actually make it some kind of clean, but still we have it some kind of organized, right? So I'm just going to stick copy this away from here. You can copy anyone. You have no restriction on what you're going to copy. You can copy anyone at all. Just we have to make sure we move down to this end, and I'm going to have it placed. Make sure it aligns to where you want to place it. That is what you need to actually do. So those two cards are going to be for our active and inactive workers. So all we just got to do is just to go back again and actually copy the images that is peculiar to it. I'm just going to copy this away from here. I'm going to have this copied. For the remaining part of it, I'm going to have it created on my own. So I'm just going to go back to this particular sheet. I'm going to have it pasted right here. And we have something nicely done like this. Okay, now to have the analysis done, what we need to do is just to get the figures we have right here. I'm going to get the figure right here. I'm going to get its figure right here. I'm going to go for analysis and see what we can do to get the figure right. So we can go ahead and check the data and see the column we want to actually do with right now. If I actually move it to this end, what we're going to have is actually, you see, we have the employment status right here. And if I click on it, we have active and inactive. So we want to see how many of our employees are active and how many are inactive. I'm just going to deselect it and go back to what? Go back to the dashboard, sorry, the analysis page right now. And I'm going to go for employment status. And right here, I'm going to drag it down. And once I have it, I'm going to actually go back to the employment ID right here. I'm going to drag it down for once again. And you know what that is? We want to actually create the percentage of the active and inactive workers. And what I'm going to do right now is just for me to format it to the percentage. And I'm going to go for what percentage of column total. And here I have it. That is pretty nice. And I can actually have my dashboard format the way I really wanted it. As you can see, it's pretty very speedy. You can do it as I've shown you previously before. And now those are the figures we need to get down to our dashboard. So I'm going to zoom very close to actually deal with this rightly. And here we go. We have for the active workers right here. We need to get the figure we have that is peculiar to the active workers. I'm going to go right here. And for the active, I get this. And for the inactive, I'm just going to go for the inactive. I'm going to get this particular figures for the inactive, which is 12 persons are inactive. And we're going to hold control and actually drag this down for now. I'm going to put this at the top level right here. Okay, this way I'm going to have it. And I'm going to have it listed for the first time. What I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to click and actually double this. By Control D, we have it doubled. And I'm going to make it a very little, some kind of smaller than what you think. Okay, click on it. I love it. I'm going to have it smaller. I'm going to actually have to make sure I resize it right here and make sure I double it down to this particular end right here. You might not be seeing it clearly, but it's very much visible. So now here we go. Now we can actually bring up percentage right there. There is something I want to actually show you what it is you will need to actually know. Before I do that, actually, I'm going to leave it this way. And I'm going to select this for the active percentage. I'm going to have to bring it down here. I'm going to say for active percentage is this percentage right here. And for inactive percentage, I'm going to go right here and actually make sure I bring the inactive percentage right here. Okay, but what if I don't want to show it on this particular full percentage like this? I can actually deselect this to have it seen very well. I'm going to select it and go to Control 1. Now from Control 1, what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to hit on this. I'm going to make sure it does give me one decimal. That is it. I have it minimized. If I go back, I have this. Now what I'm going to do right now is just to make sure I have it on a very nice cool. So I can click on both of them right now and actually go right here and actually make sure it's on actually italic, and I'm gonna actually give it this color, and I'm gonna make it a little bit darker than others right here. I'm gonna give it this, and what I need to do right now is just to move this down to this particular aspect right here and make sure you have it seated rightly. I think I can move them individually. So I'm going to have them moved individually right now so I can sit them around. And I think the figure is too little, it's too big. I'm kind of actually have to make sure I minimize it a little bit. And I can copy the formatting down to this one right here because we're going to be having an arrow right there. So I'm going to have this seated right here. So to have the arrow we have right there, I'm just going to go to my shape. I'm going to go to insert. From insert, I'm going to hit on the shape. And here is the shape that actually we really wanted to use. I'm going to get this shape right here. I'm going to draw the shape a little, and I'm going to have this shape right here. Let us check for the color of the shape and see how we can actually give it color. So the color of the shape must actually rhyme with the colors we have right here so that our dashboard can actually be very smooth. So now we have this color. So it's very easy. I think we've not used this color previously, and we have to get the codes and actually have the color used right there. So it's 117, 138, and 51. Let's see how we can actually get right there. First of all, I'm just going to copy this one away from here. So it will be very easy for me to cram the many aspects, right? So just click on this and right click on it and go to our format shape and go to the color, and here we have this. Then we paste this one, we paste it right here, and we have 138 here, and we have 51, I presume. We have 51 right here, and I'm gonna hit OK. Now if I actually go back and check this, now it has given this to this. So but right now we have to make a little change because we have some kind of outline right here. I want to get the outline off it, so right click on it again and go right here, and we have the fill. We're going to take the outline off, and once I actually deselect it, this is what I have and this is what I want to see. I can actually see, okay, now this is going to be duplicated out this plus, and actually going to click on this and make it a little bit bigger. So click on it again. So make it a little bit bigger by holding your shift key. It will be nicely done. So now we can actually hold control and duplicate it right now. This is going for this because we have it some kind of smaller. And if I actually click on this, I have to turn this around. So how do we flip this? This is the next option we need to actually tick off. So we need to flip this vertically. So all we need to do is just to go to format right here, click on format and go to rotate and rotate vertically. We have it rotate vertically that represent our high percentage. Now we have this. That is cool. So we are almost done from here, but we need to actually make sure we actually make those figures right. So I'm just gonna get the figure formatted. I'm gonna give it this color. I'm gonna make sure it's 32. I'm gonna locate 32. Here we have it. We have something like this 32. And for that, I'm just gonna actually make sure I expand this, and I'm gonna bring this down. And this as well, should the figure just get cranked up, we can actually make sure we still see what we have right there. And this is beautiful. I can go ahead right now, make it some kind of 100% and see what we have done on a full screen view. So now we have to make it 100%. Okay, nicely we have it done. So this is exactly what we want to see, and this is what we've just created. So now we are almost at the far end of the dashboard, at the top part right here. We are done. So let's see how we can actually take control of all that we have right here. So right now we need to format this card. I'm just going to right click on it and actually go right here. And you know what it is that we need to do? The color is what we need to change. I'm just going to go click on this, and I'm going to actually click here, and I'm going to paste this. And the next color is going to be this particular color we have right here. So I'm going to paste this one right here as well. I'm going to paste this, and this is going to be 238, and we've gotten our color right. So if I hit an enter, and this is what it is we have right here, and we've just gotten this color. This is the color we're going to use, and I can actually go ahead and actually replicate this to the other part of it. I'm going to click on this painter, and I'm going to actually make sure I have it on this one as well. So we need to make the transparency of this card to be 86. I'm just going to go right here and actually make sure I make it on 86. I'm going to go here on 86, and we have something nice like this. That is beautiful. We can do the same thing to this as well. We're just going to go for 86. I'm going to go for 86. That is how it is. So now it sits right on our dashboard. This is what it is that we need to do. So the next thing we're going to do right now is just what we have right here. I told you we're not going to actually replicate, do it over and over again. I need to actually copy all those from here down to that particular dashboard, and I'm going to copy this. I'm going to have this copied. I just have to hold down my control and copy all of them. Just we need to copy this and take it down there, so it will be very easy for us. Okay, now that we've just gotten it copied, so all we need to do right now is just to have it actually placed right in here. So make sure we align them to sit very well. So they might not be really right, so we can actually go ahead and actually format it the way we wanted it. And if you look at what we have right here, it's just a map that shows location. I can actually go ahead and expand it, and you see what we have right there. So Control Z, we have to take it back for us again. That is exactly what it is. So right now we have a cross that shows the verse that the two people are not together. So what do we do to actually have it formatted the way it should be? And right here we can actually duplicate it. I'm going to show you where I've gotten this from. I'm not going to do it from the scratch, but this is what we can do. Just go right here and hit on your insert and get this, and you have to get this right here, and you hold on your hold on your shift key while you drag it a little bit, and actually you crank it up to big, make it bigger and give it a color and actually turn it around the way you really wanted it. And right now we're going to flip this right now. Look at how we flip it. So you can go to go to the format right here and go to rotate and see where we can actually use. So we can use this rotate right 90 degree, and here we go, we have this, and we can actually bring this right here, and we cross it to show that those people are not actually together, they are on device. So right now we have just gotten this beautifully done. So the next thing we're going to do right now is just for we to get the values that is actually peculiar to everything we have right here. All we have to do right now, we have to just copy this away from here and go change it to something that we wanted. So I'm just going to copy this. I'm just going to scroll down this to this end. I'm going to have it pasted right here. I'm going to have it pasted here. And right now we need to bring this particular field list. And once we have the field list and I'm going to move employment off it. And what we need to actually bring on board right now is actually this So right on this, we look for marital status right here. We just have to go. So if you can't find it, you can actually make a search right here and get it. So now here we have it. So I'm just going to click on OK. And here we have the marital status right here. And for the percentage, we have the percentage as well as what as the value we have on it. So if we go back to this particular aspect right here, we don't really deal with the percentage. Instead, we just have what? We just have the values, which means we're going to go back to analysis and actually take the percentage off. And the percentage is always the last one. We have it dragged off and we have these values right here. So we go back to our dashboard again. And what we need to do right now is just actually click on this and make sure we have this clicked on and this as well clicked on. And we tap actually bring this one up. And what we need to do right now is just to get a value that is peculiar to this particular single. And I'm going to hit on equal to. I'm going to go to analysis and I have my single right here. I hit an OK. Very speedy. You can actually go ahead and do the same thing. Just click on it and actually hit on this. And what is that? Is that I think that is the marriage. I'm gonna hit OK. And for the status device, so what we have is just I'm gonna click on it. So hit on equal to and go back here and actually click on the bus and hit OK. And that is nice. We need to actually give it some kind of formatting. That is all we need to do about this. So if you're still here watching my video, all you just have to do is to hit on the subscribe button and subscribe to my channel to see more videos just like this. So I think we just do once formatting and actually make sure we copy to the other part of it. So I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna make sure we crank it up to be some kind of 20. I think we're gonna make it 21. So we'll make it 21. And that is beautiful. We have something nicely like this. And the next we're gonna do again is actually make sure, let me just, okay, I'm gonna zoom it so that we can actually see it better. So now as you can see, we have to actually make sure we get the format painter right here. Double click it because we wanna use it as much as we like, and I'm gonna have it for every part of it. And here we go. Nicely, we have just gotten this created. Okay, let's see the next part of it. So the next part is location. So I want to take care of the location and it's very easy. It's just like usual, just like what we've just created before. So what we need to do right now is just for we to actually get the numbers of location we really have our workers coming from or we have our employees from. I'm just going to actually have to paste this right here. And once I have it pasted, I can actually go ahead and actually move this particular one away. I'm going to actually move it this way. I'm going to take this count. I'm going to take this marital status and I'm going to look for the location right here. I'm going to make a search for the location. So for the location, I think I have my location. I'm going to click on location. And what I need to always do to have my location very dynamic is just to use what we call count A. I'm going to use count A. I'm going to say total. Total right here. I'm going to here is going to be equal to count A. Count A, we're gonna do two. We have two options to get this done. So if you know your data is gonna get accumulated over and over again, and it's gonna actually get more new data, you can extend the count A beyond where we have our data, and we're still gonna have the same figure. Once we have more new data, it's gonna actually get to update on its own. The reason why I have this was because if I have my filter on it, it's just gonna look very okay. It's to filter the new data we have and the older data we get filtered as well. So now this is all we need to do right here, and it's just beautiful like that. So we can actually click anyone, can actually bring this one right here and actually make the figure to be some kind of peculiar to what we've just analyzed right here. I'm going to click on this and I have this actually here, and I'm going to copy the formatting we have from here down to this particular aspect, and that is what it is that we need to actually do. So right now here is what we've just gotten. Let me put it on 100% view. Alright, we've come this far. We're not actually make the tutorial to be some kind of very short so that we can actually get to do it one by one. You can practice with what we just have right now if you have the workbook already with you so that when we come back in the next tutorial, you just have to click right here and watch the next tutorial and actually follow like step by step right here. So you know what the dashboard is all about. It's actually about HR dashboard and actually trying to actually break down the data that we have in our database, and this is what we have just arrived at right now at the final result, but we have to break it down little by little. Now the next tutorial I'm going to take care of this other part of the dashboard, so watch out and see how we can actually go ahead and create all this. If you're still right on my channel, all you just have to do right now is to leave a comment, hit the subscribe button and actually share it to your friends out there. Thanks for watching.